Dhyana Linga is an energy form established in a certain way so that people can use that as a doorway to the beyond. There are no rituals here, there is no worship or prayer or any kind of offerings or anything here, it is always in total silence. So people from various religious groups, everybody comes here, they're just required to sit there. You don't need any belief system, you're not required to pray or anything. Even people who do not know anything about meditation, within a few minutes they will become meditative. Dhyana Linga is unique because it has all the 7 dimensions established at their highest peak. In a way, if you look at Dhyana Linga, what it means is, it is like a living person sitting there who has his energies at his peak. If you push it anything beyond that, it will lose its form. To retain a form, you need to understand, if your energies lose your vibrance, lose its vibrance, then you can't hold on to the body, you will leave the body. That is called old age. What is happening with old age is, your energies are losing their vibrance. Even if the body is reasonably fit, physiological body is reasonably fit, you will see very few people dying of old age these days. Everybody breaks some part of the body and they die. Otherwise, if you have you seen anybody dying of pure old age? Everything is okay, but slowly they just recede. Because the energy has lost its vibrance, it cannot hold on to the body anymore. Similarly, if energy reaches the highest peak of vibrance, then also it cannot hold on to the body. To hold a form, your energy should be within a certain range of vibrancy. If it goes below that, it cannot hold. If it goes above that, it cannot hold. So if you push it anything beyond that, it can't hold a form. So to hold a form, what is the peak? All the 7 chakras are at its peak, within the ability to hold the form. And now it's almost like a live person sitting there, the highest kind of being. The idea of creating the lingam is so that everybody has the privilege of being in the intimacy of a guru to do their sadhana. Very few people get this opportunity that they can do their sadhana in the intimacy of a guru. If you do your sadhana without the necessary grace, what can be done in a moment takes many lifetimes. So, Dhyana Linga offers just that possibility that people can do their sadhana with the intimacy of being with a live guru. At the same time, you don't have to, without instructions, without any physical entanglements, one can just be in the presence of a guru.
The dream of many enlightened beings, Dhyana Linga was consecrated by Sadhguru after 3 years of an intense process of Prana Pratishtha, a pure energy process wherein the energies of all 7 chakras are raised to the peak and locked to prevent dissipation over time. A doorway to enlightenment and spiritual liberation, Dhyana Linga offers a spiritual seeker the opportunity to perform spiritual practices in utmost intimacy with a live guru, an opportunity traditionally available only to a select few. Dhyana Linga has been created as a very powerful presence so that the Vijnanamay Kosha or the knowledge body of a person is touched by being in the sphere of Dhyana Linga. In Dhyana Linga, energy has been pushed to the highest point and locked through the intense process of Prana Pratishtha. So now exploring the various mysticism of Dhyana Linga, let's explore some of the unique manifestations that we find around Dhyana Linga. First of which comes downward flowing snake sculptures in the walls of Dhyana Linga. In the yogic culture, snakes is used as a symbolic representation of higher dimension of energy. This is because the movement of Kundalini is very similar to how a snake moves or crawls when it is provoked. This is why in many energy spaces you must have seen the depiction of snakes. Generally, you will see snakes as moving upward because you are seeking the divine. But in Dhyana Linga, we will see the cascading snake coming downward because it is the shower of the divinity. It is not in the search of divinity. This is the shaft of grace, that is, grace is spilling down. It is to indicate this showering of grace upon us, that all of them has depicted through these cascades of snakes. Secondly, if you have visited Dhyanalinga, or if you have seen the Dhyanalinga in any of the Sadhguru's video, you might have seen that the steps leading to Dhyanalinga is high. Many of us wonder why is it so. So, moving forward to the answer, we all know that Dhyanalinga is not a place of worship. It is a place for meditation. So, for all those who are coming to Dhyanalinga, there are some simple procedures. The steps are designed such that when someone presses the soles of their feet on the step, it activates the system in a certain way. Another thing is that when you are trying to go to the next step, and then when you raise your leg beyond a certain point and press down and push your weight up, your Mooladhara opens up. It gets the necessary stimulation. And so the steps leading to Dhyanalinga are built up high. It is not only with Dhyanalinga. The next time whenever you climb something high, just notice how the whole area around the Mooladhara gets stimulated by pressing down the feet in a particular way, which is very important if one wants to become meditative. Dhyanalinga has the possibility that it can make you meditative without any instructions, but some preparations and receptivity is needed for the body. The whole structure of the Dhyanalinga space is made such that in many ways it prepares the system to become meditative. Now the third thing which we can see is that there is a tamarind tree in front of Dhyanalinga with a black cloth tied in it. If you are an Indian, you might have heard that people say that ghosts live around tamarind tree. This is not false. This is because the level of oxygen around the tamarind tree is extremely low compared to any other vegetation. For disembodied beings, this lack of any life settling there combined with a very low level of oxygen feels like death and dissolution. This is why they tend to move in the direction of these tamarind trees. We have tamarind tree in front of Dhyanalinga because even beings who have not worked for their mukti attain to mukti in a short span because their structure cannot be kept. In that kind of energy, the being just collapses. And talking about the black cloth that is tied on the tamarind tree is that there are people who do a certain type of sadhana for 42 days. This is known as Shivanga sadhana. I've talked about in detail in this video, link of which I have given in the description. If you want to know in detail about Shivanga sadhana, you can visit the link. Now, the people who do Shivanga sadhana, they tie the cloth in their body for the entire 42 days. Now in that cloth, a certain amount of their body in the form of sweat enter into the cloth, and this cloth has certain memory of that person, and also there is a certain process that happens in front of Dhyanalinga where they relieve them from their karmic structure. After this process that is done for 42 days of sadhana, people find immense relief from what they had gathered in the mental and the physical systems over a period of time. And lastly, the most weighted question is that can one access Dhyanalinga from wherever they are? Yes, absolutely yes. Even we have seen Sadhguru talking about it. Dhyanalinga is a living being because it has come with all the 7 chakras. It is just that there is no physical body like you and me. Dhyanalinga is like the energy body of the highest kind of being possible, like a yogi sitting there. Or put in traditional terms, like it is Shiva himself sitting over there. The idea is that people should live in the presence of the life Guru forever. To do your sadhana in the intimacy of the Guru is very different from doing your sadhana from yourself. Very few people get this opportunity because it is physically impossible to provide that all the time. But with Dhyanalinga, everyone has this opportunity. Even if you don't know about meditation, if you just sit for a few minutes, you will become meditative without any single instruction, because the very making of the Dhyanalinga is in that way. So, at last, I would like to say that Dhyanalinga as an energy form is not within the limits of time and space. If someone is really open to it, it is available to them wherever they are. This is said by Sadhguru himself. So, do you know why I spoke all these things about Dhyanalinga today? And by seeing on thumbnail what's special at 5:45 p.m. today? Well, today we have successfully completed 25 years of making of Dhyanalinga, and so taking this into concern, Today, there is a free live stream straight from Isha to experience the grace of Dhyanalinga from the comfort of your home. Right at 5:40 pm, it will start and will continue until 7:15 pm Indian Standard Time. There are lots of exciting things that we will come to know today about Dhyanalinga, and the most important thing is if you are someone who really want to experience Dhyanalinga, if you become completely conscious today, you can experience it. Today is the most powerful day. So just stay tuned at 5:45 pm. Link to join I have given in description, or simply you can visit Sadhguru's official YouTube channel where you can join it. And at last, hope you loved the video and found it meaningful. And if yes, do not forget to give it a like, share, and subscribe. And please share this with as many people as you can so that everybody can take the experience of Dhyanalinga today. At last, Namaskaram.